Well, our thing is this: how we work and how we operate. It must make business sense on our side.
Let me get to you, because I understand that you have retired. You're 50-0. You walked away from the game. You made a lot of money, but you did make news sometime last year when people were talking about you returning. Now, you're 43 years old, okay? I want to know where your head is at as it pertains to you.
Whatever reason it is that they want to see you, that reason is why you. It's not that you just deserve the money, because it's hard to do.
Right. I've never encountered an athlete who, number one, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number two, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that.
The fighter who once branded himself the greatest of all time is now under intense scrutiny as major controversy builds around him. Floyd Mayweather is reportedly caught in escalating claims involving fraudulent activity, with growing concerns about his financial stability reaching a breaking point.
The hard way. You know, I'm a kid that came from poverty. I can remember being a kid living in Jersey with my mother. 7 of us living in a 1-bedroom. You know, no lights, no heat. Never cried, never complained. Just worked hard to get to where I got to in life. It's been hard.
When Floyd moved from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, his public identity transformed completely. He was no longer seen only as an elite defensive boxer with flawless skill, but as a self-declared icon of wealth and success. His attention gradually shifted away from pure boxing legacy and toward displaying luxury and financial dominance, positioning money as the central focus of his image and persona.
The guys that never got hit. Floyd went his entire career, got hit hard like 3 or 4 times, ever.
Yeah. When he fought Diego Chico Corrales, which was one of my favorite all-time fights, you know, because it was like there was nothing for Diego to hit, and then all of a sudden he just bounced in his face, bop, left hook from like 5 feet away. That's a Mayweather that I think nobody could possibly maybe beat.
That was the Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. That was before he became Money Mayweather.
He rebranded himself as a global persona built around wealth and luxury. Attention moved away from his elite defensive mastery inside the ring and toward a lifestyle defined by extravagance, massive fight earnings, and his rise into one of the highest-earning athletes in sports history.
It's just complete genius.
Yes.
First of all, from just changing his style, right? He broke his hands a lot. So when he was younger, they called him Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
And then he changed his name to Money. And when he changed his name to Money, he turns heel.
Yeah.
He became like this guy, and everybody wanted to see him get beat.
Yeah.
And he's the most unhittable guy in the history of the sport.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's interesting when fighters figure out ways to do that too, like what Floyd is doing. What Floyd is doing is so interesting. He retires from fighting and he says, I'll just start boxing people who have no chance.
Hey, why not?
Floyd Mayweather's early career saw him earning around $3 million per bout. However, everything changed when he made the bold choice to operate independently, a decision that dramatically elevated his earning power. That shift propelled him into unprecedented financial heights, ultimately establishing him as one of the highest-paid athletes in history. By stepping away from traditional promotional control and strategically managing his career on his own terms, he built a legacy defined not only by boxing success but also by extraordinary financial achievement.
Floyd Mayweather was the highest paid athlete in the world, and you won't believe why. Early in his career, Floyd partnered with a fight promoter where he was making $3 million a fight, but he wasn't satisfied. He thought he could make way more with pay-per-view and wanted out of his contract. So he bet on himself and paid his manager $750,000 to get out. And you won't believe what happened next, so drop a follow. This would prove to be a huge win for Floyd, and after going independent, he made nearly $1 billion and became the highest paid athlete in the world.
However, as his wealth grew, personal tensions also began to surface. Mayweather's father explained that before Floyd reached massive financial success, their relationship remained stable without any serious conflict. But after Floyd started earning millions, things reportedly changed, as his spending habits became increasingly extravagant. Luxury cars, properties, and other high-end purchases turned into a major focus. This shift in priorities eventually created strain between father and son. According to his father, money has a way of changing people once it enters the picture.
Never had an argument in our life, me and him. Then we had an argument on what was the name of it? HBO. We was on HBO. Then another time we argued over by the car. I'm saying, man, what is all this about now? I'm just saying, you know, and we never had no argument. All of a sudden, it is or it ain't. Sometimes, you know, hey, when people get, it ain't about me training or anything like that. People get money, man. Things change. I don't care whether it's your father, mother, whoever. Father, mother, brother, sister, name it. You know, if sometimes when people get money.
As Floyd's fortune increased, his personality reportedly shifted toward greater arrogance. This change is said to have strained multiple close relationships, including bonds with longtime friends. Mike Tyson publicly criticized Mayweather's attitude, arguing that there is nothing positive about such arrogance. Tyson suggested that Floyd should ground himself in reality and control his ego.
How do you feel about
awesome
Floyd?
fighter, great fighter, and public influence.
He's a little too into himself. You know, he should be. I was the same way too, but you have to come to reality some way. You have to bring your head down to God. We're nothing to be fucking arrogant. Well, you expect us to be ignorant and arrogant. Look where we came from.
That's why I asked the question earlier about you mentoring fighters, because I feel like Floyd looked at you growing up like every other fighter. And the persona and the lifestyle was like, growing up in the hood, we looked at it like, that's Mike Tyson. We see the cars, the jewelry, the flair. Like you was a movie star. You was a hero.
Floyd's friendship with rapper 50 Cent was once considered one of the most high-profile connections in entertainment. However, as Floyd's wealth expanded, tensions began to surface within their relationship. 50 Cent claimed that Floyd's growing focus on money became difficult to deal with over time. At one point, Floyd reportedly told him that he had never needed his support, despite their long-standing bond. This breakdown in trust was largely linked to Floyd's increasing emphasis on financial success, which, according to 50 Cent, overshadowed both loyalty and the people who had supported him early in his journey.
Because you'd already invested.
Yeah. Right, like when you give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail, right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardlessly. Right. You know, so I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he going to say he wants to, to give me the other half of it? Why I got to ask you for it?
Right.
And then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, what a prize fighter fight for? And I'm like, and he said, the prize. So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. He doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Floyd also parted ways with one of his most promising protégés, boxer Tank Davis, who later expressed feeling exploited during his time under Mayweather's guidance. Davis claimed that Floyd often placed him in situations where he remained dependent on Mayweather's control and influence. Despite generating significant earnings from his fights, Davis reportedly felt he was not compensated fairly, which ultimately led to him cutting professional ties and ending their working relationship.
Well, I'm going to be back asking you for money. Nah, why would I do that? I give her a couple dollars. I take some, whatever, whenever you need some money, you feel me? But when I was legit to be able to get her out the hood, that's what I did.
Like, I had to learn that coming up that, like, a motherfucker will put you in a position to always need him. And, like, to the world, it might look like that's a great person. But, like, to somebody to understand, you understand, like, what Kendrick Lamar say? Nah, that's a master manipulator. Like, because if I gotta put you in position that they always need me, you always gotta, I'm gonna just give you crumbs. And we hear it a lot. Like if I'm like, what's $1,000? You know what I'm trying to say? But to you who don't have it is a lot. And I know you're gonna go to war for that $1,000. So me understanding that $48 of plot power, I'm gonna always feed you a little bit so you can be excited and do just enough to come back around.
But I ain't really, it's put me in position to be able to, you know, make my own thing. And I don't want to say no name, but they wind up catching it. The people that's over top of me, I mean, like, I was signed to him, and Floyd signed to him. So the person that, he said, okay, cool, I see what's going on. That's when he started taking over my career.
Tank also pointed out Floyd's discomfort with anyone being seen as above him, suggesting he struggled when other fighters gained more recognition or higher earnings. He described a pattern where jealousy appeared whenever comparisons were made that placed others ahead of him. This even extended to Floyd's controversial stance that Muhammad Ali was not superior to him, a claim that sparked widespread debate and criticism within the boxing world.
I'm going to say this. Okay. Out of all these guys in the history of boxing, yes, I've accomplished more than every fighter in the history of boxing. Okay, Ali. Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali when he only had 7 fights. Yes. And if we really tell the truth, if we really tell the truth, well, that's what you're here for. You're here to tell the truth. What's the heavyweight guy that Ali fought 3 times? Ken Norton, actually. Ken Norton. Ken Norton really beat Ali all 3 times. Go back and look at the fights. I mean, we just telling the truth. And I love Ali, of course.
Mayweather's confidence extended beyond his personal relationships and into his public persona, where he increasingly displayed his wealth on a global stage. This behavior contributed to growing public criticism and resentment toward him. His repeated showcasing of a highly luxurious lifestyle, combined with provocative statements, positioned him as one of the most polarizing figures in boxing history. His consistent declarations of being the greatest, regardless of other fighters' accomplishments, further deepened negative perceptions and intensified debate about his legacy.
In all of my career, I have never encountered an athlete who, number one, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number 2, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that much. But the way he just blithely scoffed at Ali's accomplishments, it wasn't just disrespectful, Stephen A. Smith. It was flat out blasphemous. Now, to your credit, you did go back at him. You can't. Okay, and to Floyd's credit, you know what? Early in Ali's career, he did get dropped. Not by Bert Cooper, by Henry Cooper in London. He fought him twice in London. And he did get dropped, and he got right back up and won the fight.
Due to his outspoken demeanor and constant exhibition of luxury, Floyd emerged as one of the most controversial figures the sport has ever seen. His refusal to be pulled into public disputes, despite his actions, only fueled further backlash. He frequently expressed that outside opinions held no weight for him and that he would continue competing regardless, whether in exhibition matches or official bouts. This clear indifference toward criticism made him increasingly polarizing, leaving fans and analysts divided and questioning his true intentions within boxing.
Watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And
my most expensive watch that I currently own is $18 million. One watch.
And so you hate him. People hate him.
He creates envy.
Yes. Yeah, he creates envy, and you want him to lose, but he's not going to.
After stepping away from professional boxing, Floyd shifted his focus to exhibition bouts. However, these appearances drew heavy criticism from fans and analysts alike. Many argued that he was damaging his legacy by facing relatively unknown opponents, with concerns that the primary motivation behind these events was financial gain rather than competitive challenge or sporting merit.
Floyd, what does it mean for you to go out on your terms, not on anybody else's terms, but you to make the decision, you know what, this is it, I don't care what all you guys say, I'm out of here, I'm done?
I mean, I think I just had a game plan. I had a brilliant game plan. The game plan was to be very outspoken, you know. I was born with personality. I was born with charisma. Speak my mind. Speak from the heart. You know, I don't hate or dislike anyone. I want to go out there, you know, and just do what I have to do inside that square circle. Choose a tremendous team on the outside that's going to help me take things to the next level, and that's what I did.
His exhibition appearances quickly gained a reputation as cash-driven events, with critics arguing that the focus was less on competition and more on maximizing financial returns. Many suggested that the matchups were structured primarily to secure the biggest possible share of the revenue, rather than delivering genuine, competitive fights for fans.
A shot. But you know what it is? I think obviously with Floyd, he gets the biggest percentage of the purse, isn't it?
Yeah, but he can still get the biggest percentage of the purse.
Yeah, but Ricky Hatton's going to want more. He'll want more. He'll want more.
He'll want more.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when they fought in their heyday, Floyd got more.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know what I'm saying?
No, but Floyd wants like 95% more. 90% more. You know what I'm saying? It's not like...
He's like 95-5. Yeah, that's how he likes to do it, isn't it? Because I'm not going to lie, if Floyd fought Ricky, both of them now, catch weight, 154, O2 Arena, it will sell out.
It will sell out. It will sell out.
Floyd's image in exhibition boxing was further questioned amid claims that some opponents were not paid the full amounts they expected. Fighters such as Deji and Logan Paul publicly suggested that the compensation for their bouts with Floyd did not fully match what was initially agreed upon, adding further controversy to how these exhibition events were managed.
See a lot of people, people always bring up the fighter pay with the UFC, but isn't Logan complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd? Is that like a boxing issue versus
you
a boxing thing?
You don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day,
you hear a guy going,
now,
I want to make $30 million, I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights, and you make them. And Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So let's say I did a fight with Mike. I got Mike fighting, Francis or something. The athletic commission gets the money up front, so they pay the fighters. They don't have to wait for. That was the big problem in the past, is that these boxing promoters would come in and they wouldn't make as much money as they thought they were going to do, so they would stiff the fighters and not pay the guys. And that's why these regulations are in place and these different
As time went on, Floyd's presence in the sport and the buzz around his name gradually started to decline. Once a dominant force in boxing, his offering behavior increasingly overshadowed what he achieved inside the ropes. Allegations involving a $42 million fraud case, along with growing doubts about the transparency of his financial activities, further damaged his public image. Additional reports also surfaced claiming he was held in Dubai over unpaid debts, adding to concerns about the severity of his reported financial situation.
Some drama going on about Floyd Mayweather being stuck in Dubai. However, that man was at Game 5 of the Clippers game. He's claiming that he is stuck in Dubai because there is debts that he has to pay off and they're not letting him leave. And we're sitting at Game 5 and I look over and I'm like, dude, that's Floyd Mayweather. Royce takes a video of Floyd Mayweather at the Clippers game, posts it on his TikTok. It goes viral. He posts 2 videos, both go viral. And the comments, nobody is believing him. They're like, that's not really Floyd. That's a clone. Floyd's stuck in Dubai. And the crazy thing was, usually when you're at these games, they'll have like, oh, special guest, celebrity of the night. They didn't show Floyd on the thing, but we have it on camera. But go check out Royce's videos if you guys want to see.
Mayweather carefully built a public identity centered around being the world's highest paid athlete. He frequently highlighted his income, insisting that no other athlete in sports history could reach the same level of financial success he had achieved.
What did you see when you watched that fight?
Look, Floyd needs to keep doing of having complete wimps throwing punch at their faces. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, it's happened before. What about Rihanna? Shame on you. Blasphemous. I will not stand for that. I will not stand for that. But, however, boxing has a misconception. Too soon? Was it too soon?
Chael Sonnen, a well-known fighter and analyst, stated that Floyd's continued involvement in exhibition bouts appeared to be motivated purely by financial incentives. Sonnen argued that with such massive career earnings, Floyd had no real necessity to keep competing against lesser-known opponents for additional money. He viewed this direction as damaging to Floyd's legacy, suggesting it compromised his reputation and sense of honor in pursuit of further personal profit.
That Floyd is still getting in there as recently as this weekend because he needed the money.
You think Floyd's fighting because he needs the money?
Yeah.
Really? Why? You think he blew through all of his money?
Get the fuck.
Yo,
Well, he blew through a lot of it, but I'm sharing for you, it wasn't what you thought it was.
he
to
blew
start
they're
with.
and wasn't making as much as
Yeah,
he
they're
says.
claiming he was doing $100 million a fight, and I'm claiming for you, he in his whole career has made about $100 million. There's a very
wow.
You know, Floyd had this long career. I could imagine him making more than $100 million.
I understand that. Floyd was not Muhammad Ali, and Floyd wasn't Mike Tyson. I got it. I know. People think he made 130 in a night. I'm sharing with you, he didn't. And no boxer has. No boxer's ever made 130 million in one night. This is silly. Floyd Mayweather has closed down a mall. He has rented out the entire mall, and he spent $15 million. The proof that this happened is Floyd at a mall and Floyd with a bag of cash that probably had about 100 grand in it. He says, man, I'm a VIP, I'm a VP, I'm a VVVVIP. Do you want to know why he was whispering, guys? He was whispering so that he didn't disrupt the employees and fellow shoppers at the mall. It's okay. This is a gimmick. Floyd did everything that Floyd is supposed to do. It's strange that a 50-year-old man would continue to do what he did when he was 28 years old. That's strange.
Eddie Hearn, a prominent boxing promoter, openly criticized Floyd's direction in the sport, describing his bouts as lacking competitive value and implying they were designed more for pay-per-view revenue than fan satisfaction. Hearn suggested that Floyd's transition from an elite competitor to a financially driven entertainer had weakened the sporting credibility of his later career and raised questions about the overall integrity of his approach to boxing.
Somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000. Something like that, if that.
I believe so.
We've had some bad ones. But this is, I've seen a map. Someone posted a map yesterday. I mean, I don't know anyone that even knows Floyd Mayweather is fighting on Saturday. Who is putting the money up for these events? Like, I think that the Mayweather fights are so naff, to be honest with you. But I don't actually mind, like, at least Aaron Chalmers will go out and he can box and he'll have a go and like whatever. But literally no one knows that is even happening. Someone has hired out the O2 Arena thinking they're going to sell out the O2 Arena with Floyd Mayweather and they are going to do a couple of 100,000 buys on pay-per-view. It's either going to get cancelled before Saturday or someone is going to do their absolute conkers or people are not going to get paid.
After years of extravagant spending and acquiring luxury assets, Floyd Mayweather's financial standing is now reported to have declined significantly. With his professional boxing career long behind him, his efforts to remain in the spotlight through exhibition fights have drawn strong criticism. The situation reportedly worsened after he was linked to a $42 million fraud case, triggering widespread backlash. Investigations and media reports, including coverage from Business Insider, also challenged his claims about owning 62 buildings, suggesting he only held partial interests in some properties. These revelations have fueled further criticism, with many accusing him of exaggerating his wealth and misrepresenting his financial status.
There is a little bit of embellishing that you kind of have to do in order to get your foot in the door with some of these folks, because they otherwise ain't gonna deal with you. So it does require a little bit of fake it till you make it. I'm not saying that that report is true. I'm just simply saying that if there were some validity to that, that's not really the end of the world. He ain't lying about having ownership. He just may have embellished the truth about having no partners. Also, you got people calling him broke, which is crazy to me, man.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for what's coming next.